Hello my friends and welcome to another pick a card reading. I hope you're all doing really well. It's good to see you and good to be reading for you. So this is another installment in the amazing series that I'm doing with Helen from Eye of the Serpent Tarot, where we are choosing pairs from the major arcana and we're looking at what messages that they have for you and then reading them in congruency with each other. So this week we'll be looking at, or in this installment, because we're doing it every 2 weeks, in this installment we're looking at the Emperor and the Empress, and I'll be looking at the Empress, Helen will be looking at the Emperor. So with the Empress, it's all about creation, it's all about how you can manifest your possibilities and manifest what it is that you need, and what it is that you truly want. How can you really embody those manifestation principles that everybody talks about and everybody is aware of, in terms of the sense that they know that they are a certain level of manifester, but how can they really kind of fine tune it into a way that they're able to make it really work for them? And this is what this will be looking at. And with Helen's reading, that will complement this reading to help give you some kind of structure in the respect and you building something from that manifestation that you've managed to give birth to, which is what the Empress is all about. So I've got 3 Empress cards here for you to choose from. I've got this Empress from the Wild Unknown Tarot, the Empress from the Muse Tarot, and the Empress from the White Newman Tarot. Pile 1, Pile 2, and Pile 3. Timestamps will be in the description box below, and I'll see you at your reading. Bye. Hello Pile 1, welcome to your reading. So you chose this beautiful Empress card here, and before I start to look at your oracle cards that I have here, I just wanted to say a little something about this beautiful Empress of the tree, and she's at night as well, which is really interesting. I was thinking about this earlier in the respect of how the feminine and the divine feminine is attributed with night, or that the female is attributed with night. So it's almost like this thing of stuff going on in the background, or under the surface, more like, actually more under the surface, more things that are unseen. And it's really interesting in terms of the process of a tree. Like, we don't really, like, we see the growth of a tree, but we don't see the inside and what's going on, you know, as the tree is growing. We don't know, like, apparently the root system of a tree is twice as wide as it is high. So it's almost like there is so much that is going on underneath the surface. So you may be pedaling away, doing something that is really making you, like, that people aren't seeing. And they're only kind of seeing the end result. They're seeing what is there, like what's in front of them, rather than actually all the work that's going on. Because if we think about the idea of and I'm really sorry about my nails, because, like, usually I would have really nice nails, but today I don't. Sorry. And that tells you how busy I've been. But, like, with the idea of the acorn and how it's so small, but yet it kind of becomes this amazing, massive thing that is able to give birth to this beautiful tree, or this tiny seed, a very small seed. Like, you think about the seeds that come off of trees, and how that grows into this massive thing. So it's almost like you started off something really small, or people may have seen that you had done something really small or started off small, but in fact something has grown, like, it's actually grown really massively. It's maybe even exceeded your own expectations in terms of manifestation. So whatever you're manifesting or wanting to manifest or wanting to bring into birth, like bring forward, it may be bigger than you thought. So just be prepared for that. But that's a beautiful thing to think of. Anyway, let's crack on with your oracle cards. I feel called to pull this one first. Okay, wow. So we've got Boudica, unity. Boudica was I think she was, I can't remember if she was a Norse goddess or if she was I can't remember. Let me just look her up. But before I do that, the idea of unity is about you kind of making sure that you're strong within yourself to be able to kind of do what you've got to do. You know that whole thing with when people are naysaying, or if you tell people about what you're doing, they like to say their own thing about it. They like to put in their awe about it. You know, it's really interesting when people like to comment on things, particularly when they're not doing it, or they don't have examples of doing it. I remember I did it with a friend of mine. She was starting up a business, and then I was kind of saying to her, like, make sure that you do this, and like, you know, have you considered this? And she was like, have you ever run a business before, Reena? Or like opened a kind of business like that before, which was a particular type of business which I hadn't experience in, and I didn't have experience in. And then I thought, oh, okay, I better shut up. So I think it's important to remember that, you know, the people that really support you will have your back, and the rest of them just, yeah, they can go fly a kite. Do you know what I mean? They don't need to be around. And to be honest with you, I think that's probably why you've gone a bit underground. I think that's what's happened here. Like, you've ended up going a bit underground in that respect, so that you can actually just make sure that you get on and do what you need to do. So I'm just having a look. So Boudica. Okay. So yeah, you will be victorious. Teamwork or partnership may be better than going it alone. A synergy is more important right now. Delegation is useful. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking like the people that are on your side, they will be the ones who kind of, you know, your team, your crew. Her name means the bringer of victory. And it was when the Romans invaded Britain. She fought for Britain in a way, or for their, what am I trying to say, for their tribe. It wasn't for Britain, but it was for their tribe. So wow, her energy has been channeled by everyone from Queen Victoria, who made a statue in her honour, who sits in Westminster Pier in London. I have to have a look at that. That's really interesting. So, oh, she was quite angry though. That's really interesting. There's a shadow side as well. But what I'm getting here, it's a very good deck. Check it out. The details are in the description box below. But with Boudica, the idea is like, just keep your people tight. Keep your people tight to you, and keep working in a way that you kind of are defending your integrity. Do you know what I mean? Okay, and then we've got Bell, which is awakening. I definitely feel that. Definitely have got some kind of energy of that. And then we've got Sagittarius, and then we've got Pallas Athena, I think, but it was reversed. Bell was also reversed, so I'm going to take that as reversed, actually. And then Pallas Athena, I think. Interesting, and then that would actually match with her shadow side if that was the case, because then there's a kind of like rushing in where angels fear to tread. So be careful and considered in when you decide to kind of either share your progress with someone, or kind of initiate someone into your fold, even though there is kind of an impetus for you to, or there is kind of signs for you to work with someone. I think it's important for you to really think about, you know, what is it that you want. And it's really interesting. We've got like quite like very warlike kind of images here with Boudica, Sagittarius with the archer, and then Pallas Athena, which is the goddess of war and wisdom. So there's something, there's either what two things I'm picking up here. There's one that's saying that there's a fear of, if I step out, then there may be some sense of conflict, or there may be some kind of agitation that might be happening that might cause, you know, me to kind of question myself or not be right. You know, I might not get it right or whatever. And I think it's important for you to just kind of be willing to take that risk, but also make it a careful, considered risk. It's something, because I think there's something here that's saying that you need to take that step forward with that bell being reversed. I feel like there may be something that is being ignored, like there may be some warning signs that's happening. There may be something, there may also be something for you to actually take charge of. So the two messages I was seeing was that either there's a fear of moving forward because there's a fear of conflict, or there is something that is not being paid attention to that is actually going to be really beneficial for you to move forward. So I think there's something that you probably can see it. You can see it, and you can you can envisage that it's going to be something that's pretty good for you, but there's something that you're not like looking at. It's almost like, oh, sorry about that. It's almost like like when it's the right time to pick the fruit, and you're going to need someone to help you pick the fruit, but like, is it the right time now? And if you get someone to help you pick the fruit, then does that mean that they're going to want the fruit? Like, what are they going to want to share the fruit? That means I have to pay someone to like help me pick the fruit. And you know, there's that kind of thing. It's almost like those kind of considerations are almost like a hindrance. But then actually there may be something where you ask someone to help you pick the fruit of your tree, and then it actually leads on to potential possibilities of you getting more work or expanding, you know, buying an orchard. They may introduce you to someone buying an orchard. I don't know. It's just a really kind of base example, really, to be fair. Or crude example, I should say. But the idea is there's consideration that needs to come. That there's consideration of something that is, and there's those two factors, I think. Let's see what the tarot has to say about it. Sorry. Little bit jumbled there. But it's interesting because think is reversed. And look, we've got the Emperor here. So it's almost like there's a need for the structure. So it'd be good for you to go and see Helen's reading and see what kind of structure you need in order to make sure that you're going for the right thing. Okay, so we've got the Father of Pentacles. Okay, that's a good initiatory energy. Oh, okay, and then the Emperor decided to come reverse this time. Okay, and Temperance and the Three of... Okay. So I think there is definitely either some need for stability, because it seems like you've got the resources, but because there is this lack of stability, it's almost like you have to temper it and you have to work on it. You have to work on how do you manifest your stability within this creation process. It's almost like you've produced a lot of things. I'm coming back to plants again, yeah, but for example, like you have grown like a whole load of apples. You've grown so many. You've had a really big harvest and it's amazing. What are you going to do with all these apples? Where are you going to put them? How are you going to sell them? Are you going to make some like apple juice? What are you going to do? So it's almost like you've got this abundance of stuff that you've just been kind of squirreling away. Got the tree analogy full in force here. Nature is right there. And it's about you being able to kind of make sure that you're channeling it in the right way. And the reason why I picked this up, because I was just looking at that, there's something very fertile here. And it's exceptionally abundant. But there's something about managing it. Interesting. Okay, one more card. Father of Wands. So we've got two kings here, one reversed and one upright. So the stability is there, but it's the structure. Now, when I'm sorry, not the stability, the like the financial backing. It's almost like you've got everything you need. Like you've got everything you need. Now you just need to kind of build the house, build the structure that's going to be able to help you to kind of house this beautiful kind of manifestation that you've got. Okay, I'm going to clarify this. I think that working together with people is going to help, but you have to learn who to trust. And I don't know if there may have been somebody that you didn't really trust before. Yeah, there's a sense like quite literally you got stung before and you've managed to amass something quite good. So it's like, can I really trust this? Can I really trust this person? Can I really trust these people? Okay, let's have a look. 10 of Wands. You've really worked hard for this, pile 1. You've really worked hard for this. Queen of Swords. Wow, okay. Four of Wands. Two of Pentacles. And the Six of Swords. Right, okay, so I think, right, we've got three. The Emperor is the embodiment of all the kings, right? So this may only apply to some of you, but there may be some things on the father side that are like happening here. And it might be with what happened here. I've got a feeling that your ability to be able to take care of yourself and be, you know, kind of amass this wealth or amass this financial or stability. It just seems like material stability is there. It's a result of you not having that from a potential father figure or a figure that was a father, I think, or some kind of like paternal energy here, which is why the structure isn't there. And I think that's or the structure is not very strong. And there's this Queen of Swords energy that kind of symbolizes this stoicism that's allowed you to kind of stay really rooted and grounded. You're really clear, basically. That's why this Empress energy has come forward so strongly. And there's this real intention about you being able to create this stability for yourself and this happiness for yourself. There's almost a sense that I'm going to do it myself and I'm not going to let anybody else do it for me. This is my work and this is what I'm doing. But what's really interesting is that with this Three of Pentacles, it's almost like an understanding that you can't do it on your own. And that's a learning curve from the 2 to the 3. That's really interesting. So it's almost like you're managing that. You're starting to understand about yourself what it is that you need in order to introduce other people, to make the 2 to become 3, you know, which is a really beautiful journey. It's just understanding that about yourself. But there is a need for a recognition in terms of a lack of structure. There needs to be some kind of reassemblance of that in whatever way it is. The Father of Wands clarified by the Six of Swords. It's almost, yeah, like walking away or moving away from something that really, really upset you in the respect of... I don't know, I just feel like it's maybe inherited patterns. And whether or not it was a coping mechanism from something, or whether it was the paternal figure, or whether it was like some kind, it may even have been a teacher or something, but it was somebody who like had like an influence and they kind of made it very difficult. Like you probably saw how they didn't really make things for themselves and they kind of like squandered stuff and you were like, that is not happening to me. I'm not having that. So yeah, that's what's happening. Okay, let me have a look at... Okay, I want to have a look. Sorry, somebody's singing outside and it's just really distracting. It's quite loud. I don't know, when the sun is out in London, there's just loads of weird people about. I don't know, like, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, it's London, isn't it? If any of you are from like big cities, right? I think if you know London, then yeah, London's just crazy, and particularly the area where I'm from, it's just or not from, where I'm living currently. It's just crazy people, crazy place. I'm a crazy person too, but there's scales of crazy, right? There's like I've got all love for all people. It's all good. Crazy is good. We're all good being crazy. So, by the way, only take what resonates, discard the rest. These videos are for entertainment purposes only. Please only consider them as so, and these only should be a confirmation of what you already know, okay? So in terms of, wow, alchemical wedding, goodness. I think you really are coming into some kind of understanding about yourself in such an incredible way. It's almost like you feel afraid to take the power. That's what it feels like. Chemical wedding. Alchemical wedding even. That's the ultimate transmutation of the divine masculine and the divine feminine coming together. And we've got number 60 here as well. 60. 6. 6. We've got, well, that's 9, isn't it? But it's interesting. We've got 2 9s and then a 6, 3. So there's something very, and look, another 3 as well. So we've got something quite important about the triplet kind of energy for you with this 3 of Pentacles here. There's something very important about what you're creating. And there's definitely something for you to see about the sense of structure and containment about it. But I think, you know, give yourself a pat on the back, pile 1, because you've been working so hard and you are going to see some fruit, big fruit, some real big fruit. Okay, let's, wow, plum, choices, decisions and options. And then we've got some beautiful, I don't know what those are. I think they might be violets or plum blossoms, maybe plum blossoms. We have hummingbird here. We also have like this crossroads. And then we also have this beautiful, I think it's fluorite here. So what I get from that is that there's a real choice in who you decide is going to come with you on this journey. That was kind of what I got from this Boudica card. It was that, oh, Boudicea. I don't know how you say it. I say Boudica, but some people say Boudicea or Bodicea. Like, there's this need to really be discerning about the people that you are involving in your life that are really going to help you. It's interesting, we've got this similar kind of colour, like this pinky purpley, it's on the edges here. So there's also something about you tuning into your higher consciousness to be able to download that information to help you decide. And something about the sweetness of life and the nectar of life as well. So if you are able to remember that sweetness, and there's something about the internal guidance system that's really interesting, which I thought of yesterday actually. If you just tune in for a moment and listen to your inner knowing, like, what is it telling you to do? Like, does it give you ideas, and does it give you inclinations about people and about what is right for you? And if you were to follow that, what would happen? What do you think would happen? So I think that that's something to think about. Okay, we've also got Sulis Minerva. Wow. So this is nourishment, life, water. So there's something very I really do think that you're attracting people. I wouldn't be surprised if there are people coming to you and like to drink from your waters, so to speak. Like that, I feel like they look to you as a divine a source of inspiration and reminder of them to live their own lives in the way that they wish that they could. I don't know if you are aware of this, because it might seem to you that you're like, God, why are all these people like bothering me? But it seems like, I just feel like there's this sense of this nourishment and life that you exude, because that's what you've been doing with yourself, kind of under the radar. And also we've got this kind of idea of night, Sulis Minerva. It's like the goddess of the night. It's that kind of idea of and also moon energy. It's that idea of kind of coming back and nourishing oneself in the darkness, and being able to manifest in that space where it's kind of the unknown, because you're consistently nourishing yourself as well. Very interesting. It's really interesting. The singing's really bad. Like, I don't know, like... They're having a good time though, clearly. I think it's... Anyway, never mind. So, some... oh, this beautiful pink again. I love it. This is a really beautiful deck. It's by an Australian guy called Alan Barreley. He is a astrologer, and he also works with gemstones, oils and crystals. And he released this deck, which I just thought was really cool. And we have pink pepper, and this is the essential oil. So if you have pepper oil or pink pepper oil, particularly pink pepper, that will really help you to kind of manifest this energy of like being within this Empress energy, and help you towards kind of being grounded in a way. Now that is the heart chakra, so it's definitely to do with kind of opening your heart in that way. And then also we have Libra, which is about that sense of balance, which is what we've got here with this card. So, you know, it's understanding that sense of balance about yourself. It's, you know, it's a constant thing. It doesn't, like here it says, stop biting your tongue and speak from your heart. I think that might be the energy where you're trying to, like, you know, when I said at the beginning, like not pleasing people, you're too scared to kind of step out or something like that. That might be only for some of you. Remember, only take what resonates. It's about really kind of understanding yourself and what's important for you. You know, what's the best thing for you. It's definitely like some kind of transformation between your connection with others. And there's something about you being quite fiery, which fits with the Sagittarian aspect. So there's this element of your exploration that helps you to like be in love with other people, or to have love with other people, that will expand your horizons in a way that you haven't thought of before. But there's just this stuff where I feel like there's a bit underground, like you feel like it's a bit like, oh God. And this here as well is kind of like this sense of, do I really have to associate in this way with other people? Like, do I, you know, how am I going to get... It's that whole networking thing, isn't it? But the beautiful thing I find about networking, right, is that it's not really... Like, good networking is never really networking. It's just literally talking with like-minded people, having good conversations and being able to collaborate and create something really amazing at the end of it. There's no kind of force on it or kind of imposition. So I think with that in mind, the idea of pink pepper and that fire energy here, but then also coming in with Libra in the heart. And this symbol here is about the asteroid Psyche. This is about soul desires, soulmates, transformation through... it's the asteroid Psyche, sorry. Psyche, oh my God. So that's the symbol for Psyche. God, I'm learning everything from these cards. So... And Psyche is, oh God, the story of Psyche is so amazing. Like, I love it. Eros and Psyche. And she went through so much to just be who she wanted to be. And nothing was her fault. Yeah, right. Because if you look at the story, it's just crazy. Go look it up. But, You know, there's this sense of where somebody's just doing the best that they can. They're just being what they can. And then it's just the circumstances that just happen to be very, very challenging. So there's something about that as well that is going to help you to kind of to kind of make sure that you stand in your power and stand your ground with that Boudica energy. There's something also about sorting out your circulation, doing something. I don't know, there's just some stagnancy that's going on here. So move around, you know, do something that's going to really fire you up and be fun, you know. Okay, some angelic support for you. Archangel Zadkiel, compassion and forgiveness. I feel like not only is it forgiveness with others, but also with yourself as well. I think, you know, don't give yourself a hard time about where you're supposed to be, or what you're supposed to be doing, or if you're supposed to be doing this, or if you're supposed to be doing that. You know, just kind of just ride it, you know, and just be kind to yourself. Again, we've got like these blues and these pinks and purples, which are really interesting. So there's something about the third eye, the crown chakra, and the throat chakra, a little bit the throat chakra, but more the third eye and the crown chakra actually, and the heart, to be honest. Okay, so the last card that I've got for you, my lovelies, is even this beautiful deck called the Kuan Yin Oracle. And similar to if you've seen my readings with the Sufi Oracle, there's quite a lot of like text. So what I'll do is I'll pull this for you or read it to you, and then I'll read what is in the book, because I don't know exactly, but actually saying that now, Mother Fears kind of is quite self-explanatory, to be honest with you. It's about really embodying your power. And look, we've got number 9 again, see? So there's something very much about 3, 6 and 9 for you, pile 1. Brilliant, love it. Okay, let me have a look at what it says. Just like a sun that shines brightly, casting a strong shadow, your spiritual power is growing and needs to be expressed with the awareness that it will have an effect on others, even if you are not completely conscious of that effect, right? To create peace in the expression of your power, we call upon the Mother of Mercy. Mercy tempers great strength and power with kindness, gentleness, compassion, and caring. The divine Kuan Yin brings the quality of mercy to you now as a divine gift, encouraging you to cultivate mercy in your dealings with others and to receive it for yourself now too. So let me just quickly see whatever. It's just a lot of text. So, I mean, I just saw that there was this thing about this kind of like teacher, external teacher that may have been like a karmic that was to teach you something. And that's what I feel like the Emperor reversed was. It's some kind of like impressive, like some imposing character that may have stopped you from doing what you wanted to do. So there may have been some tendency to like go, or something which inspired you to kind of like just do what you wanted to do. And now you become really good at it. And now you're like, oh my God, what do I do with it? So it's about you understanding that, you know, you're going to get attention. There are going to be people that, you know, you might be a bit wary of. Understand your sense of discernment. Know who it is that you can trust. Really take the time to think. Not everything is a war. It's okay. Even though there is like, you know, you may need to employ like warlike strategies. The Art of War might be something quite interesting to read for you. But you're very, you know, you're very deserving of this, pile 1. And I think it's important for you to understand that, you know, you deserve what's happening in terms of like your fortune now, and just to take care of that with yourself. Yeah, interesting reading, pile 1. Interesting. I'm trying to think if there's any other messages here. There's just a lot of like fierce energy here. I'm just feeling like there's just strong protective energy here. And the feeling that I'm also getting is that don't self-flagellate too much. Just be decisive and understand your blessings, because they're here for you. They are here. And you're in the process of awakening, but there's just something about you kind of understanding what you've got and understanding your blessings. Not to say that you're not grateful. It's more of the fact that, like, wow, I have this amazing thing. This is incredible. You know, it's not, oh, I'm not grateful for it. Because how can you be grateful for something that you don't even realize that you've got? And that's kind of what's going on here. So it's almost like take some time to allow that for yourself, because you are deserving, part one, very much so. The alchemical wedding is amazing. I was gonna go boom, it's amazing. It's really good. So yeah, a fantastic reading, part one. Loved it. If you liked it, please do give it a thumbs up. Please do subscribe for more videos. Do go and see Helen's reading in order to, like, kind of now put this into some kind of structure and build upon this, because this was, I think, a bit of a kind of reminder and pep talk to kind of show you what you've got, show you those apples, and now you can go and build the cart. Anyway, my darlings, take care. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. Link for Helen's video will be in the description box below, and I'll see you in future readings. Take care, and remember, honesty is always key. Bye. Hello, pile 2, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Empress from the Muse Tarot. And wow, look at what you're creating. This is really interesting. You're creating like a universe, worlds. And what's really interesting, similar to pile 1, there is something about you kind of keeping this under wraps. Like, it's almost like there's a real sense of, there's more of a sense of pregnancy here. So it's almost like there's this thing that you've been working on. People might have known it. With pile 1, there was a sense where people didn't know. They knew that something was going on, but they didn't know exactly. This, they know what's going on. Like, they know that you are doing something big, that you are doing something that's really important, or that's literally like moving worlds. You're creating worlds. You may even be pregnant, but there's something that's really kind of big that's going on here, that you're manifesting at the moment. Okay, let's have a look at your cards. So we have Pentacle here, which is evocation. Yeah, you are like manifesting hard. Right, okay. And then we've got 8th house, reversed, mystery. So as I said, like, I don't think that this is something that's hidden. I think it's something that is that people know about, I think. And then this one. So we've got Rhiannon. Wow, self-trust. So with Rhiannon, what's really interesting is that I really need to look at, like, what these goddesses are, because I think I forget what they are. And the only thing that I've got going on in my head right now is the song from Fleetwood Mac, which I don't know, it might be of some relevance to you. But I think there's something about you understanding that what you're doing is actually is a good thing. It's something that actually is something that is worthy, I think. Because there's a sense of you not believing what you're doing is actually going to amount to anything, or going to amount to something, or is actually worth it. You know, when you get to a point and you're like, my God, is this really worth it, what I'm doing? Is this really going to, like, amount to anything? Yeah, she's Welsh, that's it. So there's time, yeah, so it's that whole thing about doubting yourself. Understanding if you are doubting yourself right now, pile 2, it's about you realizing that, you know, you're creating something amazing right now. So don't, you know, just trust it. Trust the process. I don't know, like, there's 2 things I'm getting here from that 8th house card. Like, with that, there's almost a sense that you don't know what's going on. So yeah, you might not know what's going on. Or that you, like, maybe you're uncomfortable with not knowing what's going on because maybe you don't know what's going to happen. So there's this sense of like, because like you're throwing yourself into the sense of the unknown of how this is going to kind of work out, that it's quite scary. And that's totally understandable. Totally understandable. But the whole thing about the 8th house is about putting yourself in that sense of vulnerability. It is totally unknown. Like, how do we manage ourselves in that space of unknowingness? It's pretty intense. But yeah, let me have a look at your colours here. Wow, so you've got lemon, which is fresh, clean, fresh and new. Do apologise, I'm a little bit distracted because somebody's just singing into a microphone whenever the sun comes out. And I said this for pile 1, like, just people do weird things, like fireworks go off. And I don't know, somebody commented on one of my videos, like they heard fireworks going off, and that's it. That will tell you, like, this is the area that I live in. Like, the fireworks go off at any time. Like, fireworks were going off the other day. So I'm sorry about that weird noises. And then we have scarlet. Wow, lemon and scarlet. So clean, fresh and new, and intensity, motivation and passion. So I don't know if you're like, it seems like you might be clearing something out in order to make room for the new. You may even be renovating a house or something like that. Yeah, you might be doing some kind of renovation that nobody really, like, you've just been kind of tucked away doing your own thing. But there's something that you've been creating. It may even be like the start up of a business or something like that. I definitely see like that kind of gestation of something. And you're trying to make it as clean and as kind of, I don't think the word clinical is the right word. It's more that you want it to all be neat in a package, and the creation is not neat. The Empress is not a neat thing. Like when you see the original thing of the Empress, oh, that's really interesting. That looks like lemons, doesn't it? Like lemons all there. So that might be very interesting for you. Like, it's not neat, is it? Nature is not neat, but it is always perfect. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you look at the way like a leaf grows or whatever, it's always within absolute correspondence with the golden ratio. You know, like with your, like this is like, you know, in it's absolutely perfect in the relation to like how things are, how it grows, how you grow as a person. You know, it's, if we look at like the measurements of our body or something like that, they're in perfect kind of like the amount of, oh, I can't even say it properly, like it's almost like that part of my finger is in perfect alignment with the fact that my hand is this size. Does that make sense? So it's almost like the perfection within the imperfection. So people might think, oh yeah, that's just a standardized style of beauty or whatever, but really we're absolutely perfect in the way that we are, you know, in how we develop and how we grow. And then you see that in nature, like with the beautiful patterns that emerge in nature, and that comes from things like the golden ratio. So I think that's where there needs to be some kind of like clarity and understanding that this is, I've just got to just do what I can, be as clear as I can with myself, and understand that I'm bringing in something new. So to really look at something previous to that as a comparison is almost detrimental. And I think when you forget about that, you actually like get involved more into the intensity of your passion, and you really kind of just lose yourself in that space. There's something very much about blood, you know, with this card, scarlet. And with the lemon, I just feel like it's just kind of just sweeping it all clean, you know, getting it all clean. But there's something very pure about the kind of like sense of blood. So I definitely see something like maybe with to do with children. You could be thinking about getting pregnant, or there could be something in that respect. But yeah, it feels that way. Let's see what the tarot has to say. Because I want to find out more about this 8th house, because there's something very powerful about it as well, you know, because you've got the 8th house, and then you've also got evocation, which is really interesting. Okay, so we've got the Fool reversed, we've got awakening reverse. Interesting. That's very interesting, actually, because then that contradicts like you having some kind of birth. Okay, right. Well, okay, it's because you've done it before, that's why. 7 of emotions, 7 of cups, 2 of voices, that's the 2 of swords. Okay, right, so 2 of swords, page of swords, 2 of swords, 7 of cups, page of swords, awakening, and the Fool reversed. I think you're in the thick of it, pile 2. That's why it's quite difficult to see the wood from the trees, I think. That's what's happening. I think it's just like really kind of... Bear me 1 second, my friends. Sorry, my loves. Right, okay, so... It seems like you are in the thick of it, the thick of things. And that's why it's just very difficult to see what's going on. This isn't something that is new to you. You are well versed in this and you understand it. But maybe because you've been doing it more than once, that's why you're questioning whether or not this is the right thing to do, or whether or not what you're doing is right. That's more accurate, actually. You're not really communicating with anybody about this, and I think might be a good idea to talk to someone about it, because there's definitely like a real sense of realism that's going on here in the respect of like how you you don't want to kid yourself in any way, but you are going for it. You are really going for it, but I can see like you may not fully trust yourself, and I totally get that, because it can be scary. Particularly when you don't know what's happening and you can't, there just seems to be like this lack of trust to be able to kind of discern with the unknown. But that's okay. That's okay. And it's natural. It happens all the time. It's okay to be nervous, scared. But, you know, there's something very clear-cut, like really clear-cut and decisive. The 2 things that are really standing out to me here is the scarlet here and the scarlet of Rhiannon's hair. So it's almost like, you know that thing like where people will either love you or hate you for the very thing that makes you so different about things. Like, getting, say for example, you being you wanting to do what it is that you want to do. And people are going to say what they're going to say about stuff. I said like a similar message to pile 1. Like, I tried to like give advice about something that I had no idea about. And she told, like the person I said it to is a good friend. Like they told me to just buzz off, And I thought that was really good, because like I know nothing about that. And because I was a good friend, I kind of like understood that and just supported her on her journey, rather than me telling her about something that isn't really any of my business, really. So yeah, I think that's just really important, just for you to just trust yourself and just to get on with what you're doing. Of course there's going to be mistakes or whatever, but it doesn't matter, because what you're creating is something that's so new. Even though it's not new for you. I think what's happened is that you may not have been as successful at it before. That's what I think. I think like it's almost like, like just maybe taking a test again, maybe doing something again that you didn't, that wasn't so successful last time, and you're redoing it again. And now it's actually like you're really quite adept at being able to do it now, because you've got that kind of expertise. But there is a lack of belief here. And I think it's like, you know, that's the one thing now. You've got to just have that consistent belief in yourself to be able to kind of go on. Okay, so we've got the two of wands here with the Fool. The Chariot with the Awakening. Yeah, I mean, you really want to make it happen. The Ten of Pentacles. Okay. Comparison is high, pile 2. Tower. So I think that, you know, you're really building from the ground up. You know, this is a cycle that's continued quite a few times, and now you're thinking, right, I really need to destroy anything that doesn't serve me. And Nine of Pentacles, perfect. So you're really understanding that not your, like, your way is better than any way, like, to do what you're doing. And going forward with that, because I think you've tried to do it a different way. You've tried to do it other people's way, and it just hasn't worked. And you know that you want something different. You want something that is not really the same as what people are doing. You want something different. You want something that is not the same. So you're going to have to do something different, and you are doing something different. There's almost like a sense also of comparison. So there may be like you may be comparing yourself, and also you may be keeping quiet so that people don't really see what you're doing. And, you know, you're kind of like, okay, I'm just going to kind of keep myself under the radar. But really, I'm kind of creating this kind of abundance for myself. All my lemons are growing, like, really strongly. But I'm not really going to tell anybody about it. And then, before you know it, the lemons are you've got this beautiful crop of, like, grapes, which make this amazing wine, or even lemonade. Do you know what I mean? Because you've just kind of been like, right, I'm going to do things my own way. I'm going to do things the way I want to do them. I'm going to, like, work things out the way I want to work them out. I'm not going to really listen to anybody else. I'm just going to get on and do what I'm supposed to do. Okay, so let's see what you're alchemizing, pile 2. Wow. Look at that. Look at that. I told you, the red, the blood, right? Blood, right? I'm telling you. Iron reminds me of blood. Look at that red. There's something about that. The root chakra, you're really kind of grounding. I see, like, the roots just going into the earth and grounding, going into the deep kind of roots of the earth, connecting with Mother Nature and really drawing all of those nutrients from the ground that create iron. Iron is, you know, fundamental to the formation of blood. It's also ruled by Mars here as well. So it's something about, you know, really pushing forward the stability of what you're doing, and really grounding it and rooting it. That's what you're doing, pile 2. I was just checking. That's 22, so that's 4. Interesting. Okay. Just thinking, is there anything else that I need to mention about iron? Iron is strong. Like, it's strong. And it's not very reactive either, from what I gather. So, I can't remember. Is it very reactive? I don't think so. Don't think it's very reactive. So, in that respect, it's about you being able to employ the wisdom of iron in order to, like, really ground and root. But something very important for you about the blood. Yeah. Something. So nourishing yourself. Nourishing yourself with the trust that you deserve, pile 2. Okay, which one? I want to get the goddess first. Wow. Julungal. That's the rainbow serpent of within Aboriginal mythology. So transition, life stages, coming of age. Yeah, this is definitely, you're really creating something quite amazing, pile 2. I mean, I think, you know, same like with pile 1, but it's almost like, it's like you're a veteran at this. It's like you're an expert at this, and you know this. And you're creating something very refined. And this is important for your growth in terms of transitioning to the next level of how you kind of become more of an adept at what you do. It's very powerful, pile 2. And that rhymed. Okay. And we've got Raven Sarah. Oh my God. Right. Okay. So Raven Sarah is an amazing oil. Exceptionally protective. This is like essential oils. Amazing deck by this guy called Alan Barrelay. Check out his YouTube channel. He's got amazing videos on essential oils and crystals. Really great. He always has the best crystals. It's amazing. So Raven Sarah, it says, where are you rushing to? That's the key words to come from here. But I just wanted to double check. Yeah, it's throat chakra expression. And also we've got Capricorn. We have air as well. And then we have Saturn and throat chakra. And Raven Sarah's like, it's kind of like Campor. Like its Latin name is Cinnamon Camphora, which, you know, is an interesting amalgamation of 2 very powerful herbs. So there's something very enlightening about it, but also very grounding with the Saturnian kind of edge, and also with the Capricorn energy. But with the throat, it's almost like being grounded in that sense of self. So it comes back to the energy of the self-trust. It's understanding that you have the trust and the confidence in yourself to be able to communicate what you're doing, because it's important. There's something about, yeah, it says here, stop waiting for something to go wrong and savor the moment, which is, I feel, what is that the kind of like general energy. It's almost like you're kind of preempting that it's all going to go up the creek, you know. Also there's a crystal associated with ocean jasper, hermit crab, which is quite literally the Empress, you know, with that energy of hermit crab. And you could also use bergamot and eucalyptus. So I think eucalyptus is a really good alternative for it. I use it in kind of protection rituals, so, or protection energy kind of invocations. So yeah, there may be something also to do with like emotional issues in terms of your connection with the work, or with whatever you're bringing into the world. So do have a look at that connection. Okay, some angelic support. Wow, Archangel Michael. I mean, okay, yeah. You're divinely guided and protected on this path, pile 2. Please go ahead and do what you have to do. You know, don't please don't feel that you are kind of, don't shy away from the responsibility of your light, you know. I think it's really important for you to be kind of mindful of the power that you hold at this time. So please do recognize that, pile 2. So I've got, the last card I've got here is from the Kuan Yin Oracle, and I need to look at the book for this because there's some kind of like really important messages here, but I'll initially read it as, you know, from what I see. So, to the Celestial Mountain. See, some of these cards have like a completely different meaning to like what the thing is. So I'm going to like have a look just in case, because like, and they usually are really amazing. But I just wanted to finish with that in the respect of like this kind of beautiful female energy that is coming to you with this Empress energy. So this is about the divine gifting you an opportunity to reach for assistance and to invoke divine power. So this is about you understanding the light that is within you, pile 2, and realizing that that light is within you to invoke. You can ask people for help. You can ask people and places, and you know, you can pray for help and accept help. You know, you don't have to do things on your own. just be really mindful of who, again, like very similar to pile 1, but I think, I don't know, they are very different messages, but if you are drawn to it, do check it out. But I don't usually say that, but like they're both interesting. With this one, it's more about like this sense of like, and it's interesting with this kind of like this look down. I don't know, most of the figures in here like look down in this deck, but with these two, they're kind of like looking downwards. So it's almost like I've got my things and I'm doing things my way, so I don't think that anybody else can come within this space in order to like help me. And that's what it's saying that you need to move out of, because if you don't embody that kind of sense of community in the respect of like involving other people at some point, then that's going to stop you from being able to see what your own true light is. So I think that that's what that's trying to say. Let me just double check. Yeah, I think it's just belief. It's belief, and I also think it's the sense of if you think that asking for help is like a detriment to your power, then that needs a reassessment. I think that's wrong. So I think you know, asking for help is an amazing thing. Asking for help when the time is right is fine. The worst that they can say is no, and then you're going to have to do it on your own anyway. Or you find someone else. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's important to like recognize that. But yes. In terms of like structure with Helen's reading, with the Emperor, I think actually it would be very useful, because the Emperor will help you to be like, actually, I don't have to do it all myself. Because you already know how to structure things. You already know how to do it for yourself. Now it's about you allowing someone else to come in that might be able to help you. So maybe there will be some messages for you in Helen's reading. Please do go and check it out. The link is in the description box below. But otherwise, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for taking the time to watch this reading, and I hope it provided some good messages for you. If you liked it, please do give it a thumbs up. Please do subscribe for more videos. But otherwise, you take care, my darlings. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. And remember that honesty is always key. Bye. Hi pile 3, welcome to your reading. So you chose the beautiful Empress from the White Newman Tarot. Okay, so I think with this particular Empress, there's something very warrior-like about her. It's almost like she really kind of doesn't mess around. Bear with me 1 second, I'm just going to switch on the light for some better light. So yeah, I think that there's something about being this warrior goddess embodiment of this energy that is really kind of driving you forward. There's a real sense of determination that she's going to get done whatever that she needs to get done, regardless of what's going to take place. It's very different from some of the other images that I've seen. This particular of the Empress, this particular deck as well, it depicts the Empress in a way that I would have thought that the High Priestess would have been depicted. But there's almost like something that there's just a maturity and a determination that's here that I haven't really seen in other Empress cards. So there's something just very like boss lady about it. And I do also get like a crone energy, even though it is the Empress. I do get like an older energy from this like, even though she's got like a younger face, it just feels like that she's hardy and she understands the territory. She understands the world that she's walking and what she's doing. She knows it so well. Whereas the other two, pile 1 and pile 2, were about this sense of creation and manifesting. There was something actually like kind of being given birth to. There may be that, but it's this is actually more a sense of the doing. It's more of the actual being in the action of it happening. So for example, like with the other two, there was this sense of like birthing something, creating something. So pile 1 had something of there was something very childlike about it, but whereas like pile 2, there was something of a business kind of strategy to it. Whereas this, it's almost like going out and doing the thing, doing the job, doing the stuff that you have to do. There is no kind of end goal. It's just almost like it's almost like the running of a company rather than birthing or creating a company. Do you know what I mean? So it's almost like there's this thing that you're just being the boss person, basically. That's the impression I get, pile 3. So that to crack open with. Let's have a look at your oracle cards. So we have Sheila Nanig, Nagig, even, sorry. Sheila Nagig, wow. That's very interesting. And that's very crone-like energy. Very interesting. And then, yep, this guy, Black Cat, wow, psychism. There's something very magical about all of you. You're all like pretty incredible. Dignified strength, and it's reversed. Okay, interesting. And do I have another card that I want to have a look at here? That's interesting. Do I not have another one? Oh yes, I do. Wisteria, wow. Now it's interesting because wisteria I always associate with the older generation, which is really interesting. This is not about you being of the older generation. This is about you being, there's some kind of connection to the crone. There's just something that's happening with the crone. That has nothing to do with age or anything like that. It's to do with the stage of where you're at with something. So you could be like, I remember I met this girl who was like in her like late 20s, but she was already the CEO of this company and kind of just bossing it, like already at the top of her game. And she was talking to me and she was saying like, Reena, I'm at the top of my game and I don't really know what to do. Like, it's really interesting. And I just thought, wow, someone so young at the top of their game. It's quite intense, because then you know, you fought so hard for that time, but then, you know, it's almost like feeling older before your time, because you've worked so hard and you've been able to get to that point because you've been quite unabashedly like just fighting for it. And then all of a sudden you're here and you're like, okay, so what now? What do I do now? And I think that that's really important in this Wisteria card, because there's this sense of being able to like kind of be okay with the fact that you've achieved something or something big so early on, or have achieved, you know, being okay with that. I think you are, to be honest with you. But there's something about you not being able to settle into that space, you know, of this dignification, of this energy. That's why that's reversed, because, and also it looks like it's a chair, right? So it's almost like sitting on the throne and understanding that you know, this is the throne. But when it's reversed, it's almost like there's you don't want to sit on the throne, because you don't feel comfortable sitting on the throne, because you'd rather actually be going out and like doing stuff, and you know, kind of you'd rather be on the road rather than sitting on the throne. I'm going to stop the reading until that car alarm stops. Great, I didn't have to wait too long. That was nice. So literally, I'm going to have a look at Sheila Gig, if I can actually do my alphabet properly, because it does it alphabetically. I mean, this is like, yeah, I mean, so the original like stone carving of this, I don't know, it's a very famous stone carving. It's one of the oldest known statues of the goddess, basically, of the mother goddess. And it's basically a woman that's holding open her, like, the folds of her bits. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a very famous picture, or a very famous statue. And that's what it is. It's about you being able to understand that this is just you. This is who you are. This is what you do. And yeah, just embracing that power, embracing that kind of like sense of self, and recognizing that this gateway is something that's so kind of powerful for you to walk through, to step through. What's really interesting is that even though I know that this crown of stars is visible on the original Rider-Waite version of the Empress, what I'm getting here is about understanding things about the universe that have really helped you to be able to become who you are. But I think there's just the comfortability, like feeling comfortable with wearing that crown. And that's what, I think that's what this reading is trying to help you to do. So let's have a look at the tarot and what that wants to say to you. And then okay, so we've got the moon. The Ten of Wands reversed. The Page of Cups. Such an interesting Ten of Wands. The Page of Cups. The Hierophant. And the Eight of Wands reversed. Lots of snakes here. And the snakes aren't, you know, it's all up to interpretation how you want to look at snakes, but I see snakes as very opportune omens. I don't think that things have moved as fast as you'd liked, to be honest with you. And there's been this kind of like, I wouldn't say trudging through stuff, but I would say that it's just been a bit of a slog. It's not been so much of a slog, but it has been long, you know. And there's been a sense where you haven't known what it is that you're going to be able to kind of like move forward into. It's almost like you don't even know about this next stage. You don't know what it holds for you. And there was that sense that was prevalent through all of the readings. There's this kind of anticipation of not really knowing what it is exactly that is coming into manifestation. Even though you may have some idea, it's still a sense of unknown. But I think what the key thing is here is that there's a sense of you understanding that you have to let it go. In the words of Frozen, you have to let it go. And that's the only way that you can move forward. And you're starting to kind of love yourself a little bit more in that respect. I'm kind of just seeing her holding this beautiful lotus here. It's just kind of gives me the idea of being able to really appreciate what it is that you've done and how far you've come in this respect. And I think you are, for the most part, you do that, and you do embody that. But I think that there's just more that you can do to kind of like sit in that dignified sense of strength, and understand that you are in a position of strength. You know, you may still feel like you're still a little bit on the hamster wheel, but it may be that actually, you know, the hamster wheel actually is the throne. It just feels like that because of the perspective that's going on here. It is definitely something that you're not used to. It's something that is not, and this is a really interesting Hierophant because this Hierophant is a female Hierophant. And that to me is very Empress-like, that energy, actually, to be fair. Like that would really normally say, but this is the Empress that we've got here, this Empress who's kind of like this like this warrior woman shaman kind of thing. Whereas like this Hierophant is like almost like the queen. Not to say that this isn't a queen as well, but it's just a very different type of queen. And it's almost like reassembling and relearning, like, what is it exactly that, you know, that it is that you're giving. It's not something, I think it's getting used to the idea that this is not something that you've seen before, or that it's not something, what is happening to you is definitely very different. So it's about getting used to that. And it's not happening quickly. Like, it's actually happening quite slowly, and it's in a bit of a mess. Like, I don't think that you actually even can see the true direction of it. So you're just a bit like, well, what does this even mean? Like, how can I even grasp some kind of like hold on this reality? Even though I'm at this stage, I would have thought that I would have known this by now, you know, kind of thing. That's what I'm getting, pile 3. Interesting. Right, okay, so let's have a look. Look at that, strength reversed. Yeah, you don't like not knowing what's going on. You love, I don't know, maybe some of you like to be in control, my loves. And I mean, you know, the Ten of Wands is either one of two. It's like almost trying to either like grasp control of what's going on. And I think you kind of like know, it's like, you can't really do that. And when you look at like wisteria, the way it kind of grows, wisteria is something that's so beautiful that people have like on, it grows in this beautiful way that kind of like winds and twists, and then people have it around their doorways, and its imperfection makes it look so perfect. It's really beautiful. There's a lot of similar themes with all of the readings, which is really interesting. It's about the allowance of or allowing yourself to kind of bask in the idea of the uncertainty. And it's about being able to come to terms with that. Wow, the World. Yeah, it's definitely like the end of some kind of cycle for you, pile 3. I definitely feel like, I always say that to my pile 3s, but like I think this one in particular, this is the crone energy is very powerful. I resonate strongly with the crone energy. Knight of Swords. Out of all of them, I resonate with crone energy very strongly, more so than anything else. Knight of Swords, interesting. So there's still a bit of growing up to do, even though you're in this like kind of stage. There's still something that needs to be learned. And I think you go in with it head first. Like you don't shy away from it. It's almost like my shadow work part. Like if you're doing shadow work or things like that, you don't shy away from it. You go for it. You go for it. You're not scared of it. There is still some immaturity about it though, because we have a page and we have a knight here, the immature male and female here. So it's still saying that, you know, and we do have the Hierophant here, and we're yet to see if we've got any kings or queens, but we don't. We have an 8 of Pentacles here. And then we have a 9 of Cups. Okay, right. So, I mean, you know, disappointment is a thing, right? So, like, if you're thinking... If disappointment is going to be your main goal, then it's going to be what's going to be there for you. So I think it's really important not to focus on the disappointment. And I think that something is going to manifest in a way that you don't really anticipate. It's really not going to come in the way that you think it's going to come. I think there's also like a sense of you... I never yawn, by the way. When I'm like, say if I'm doing work or whatever or something like that, I don't notice it, but maybe because I'm speaking on camera, I notice it. But it's just interesting. I just find it very interesting. It means like usually, like we usually say, it's like energy traveling through us when we are working with cards or whatnot, or working with kind of transmission of energy where I'm transmuting this message to you. But I think there's something here that says to me that you almost don't let a wish like not get you, like you kind of understand that not all your wishes might come true, so it's okay. So you kind of keep on at it. But I don't know if that's kind of stopping you from being able to like sit in the strength part of yourself. Let's have a look at the other cards. But I do think that this is kind of what this is saying in terms of Empress energy is that, you know, you have walked a long path, pile 3. You have created a lot. People respect you for that. They see you as a person who has created a lot. There's something very refined and beautiful about you that kind of that makes them think that that's something so beautiful that they would want to have and they would want to embody and be. But there's something about you that doesn't see that. And I don't know, maybe the Emperor energy will be able to help you realize what it is within yourself, that you can see that you have this sense of strength. I think it'd be really interesting for you to go and see Helen's reading and see what it says in relation to this. Because there's something about you embodying your strength. And the thing is that just because the crone is, or that crone energy is at the last stage, the crone energy is deeply powerful. Deeply powerful. You know, it's the pure wisdom. Of course, the maiden and the mother have wisdom there, but that's not the default. That's not like the main thing. The main thing about the crone is about the essence of wisdom that has been collected over the time, over the lifetimes, over the experiences that have happened, and to sit in that space of strength and to understand that they actually hold this power. It's actually quite like, it's maybe that you don't really realize how much power that you have. And maybe that even realizing that you have this power might seem a little bit weird to you. I don't know. So that's why it would be good for you to see the Emperor, because, you know, the Emperor will help you sit right in that power. So that'd be good. Be like, yep, get the power. Right, okay. So let's see what you're alchemizing into. Oh, wow. Look at that. The most ultimate female element. Silver. Goodness. That's beautiful. And then we have the moon as well here. It's almost like a divine essence of purity that you are like kind of exuding. What do I mean by that? I mean that people will see that you're exuding something so special. It's like you can't just go to the supermarket and get it, you know? It's like, or you can't, you know, this is something that like, it's like charisma. It's something that's so special within people that it's like, you know, it's second to gold. Gold is like the purest, one of the purest elements and the most highly prized elements. Silver is the one underneath it. It's the second one. So, and it's the, you know, gold is masculine, silver is feminine. So it's about that kind of receptivity and being able to, you know, kind of flow, conduct, be with the night, embodying what is truly feminine. It's really beautiful and it's ancient. There we go. It's ancient, it's old. Sheila Nagig is ancient. This is ancient energy we're dealing with. You're channeling something very ancient here. And that's deeply, deeply powerful. Especially with this card here as well. And again, well, sugar, we've got another chair here that's calling for you to sit in it. You know, for you to embody that sense of like, I don't know if it's royalty, I want to say. It's more about like rulership and more about ownership. You know? Yeah, goddess energy. I mean, you know, you can't make this stuff up, can you really? Like, you know, not many of these cards are like older lady cards, but this is another one. So this is Grandmother Spider. Grandmother Spider, ancient wisdom, connection, guidance. This is about you tuning into that really deeply. Not just that, it's about you, as I said, like being proud of it. Being really proud of it. Grandmother Spider in Toltec tradition is about the one who weaves the web of time. And also weaves everyone together, understanding that everybody is connected in some way, shape or form. Recognizing that the sense of guidance is innate. And it's to do with our connection that traces us back to our ancestors and the ancient wisdom that connects us to the earth. It's really beautiful. Powerful reading, Pole 3. Wow. Powerful reading, Pole 3. And we get the power card. Beautiful. Beautiful. Please sit in your power. That's the message here. Sit in your power. Recognize your power. Recognize who you are. Oh, nice. So we've got red mandarin. Sorry, I have to look at the book because like there's so many nice like symbols on here. But yeah, so we've got red mandarin, moon, again moon, Leo, and then it's, I think that's fire. Yeah, that's fire. So there's something that you, I think just getting the essential oil of red mandarin and putting that in your hands and smelling it is going to be really good for you to kind of come back to this energy of strength. Because Leo is all about strength. Leo is the strength card and you've got that reversed. So there's something about you invoking that. It's also the sacral chakra. So there may be some healing that you need to do around the sacral chakra because if we don't sit in our power and that we believe that we have a right to that seat on the throne, or a right to sit on that throne, then that's something to do with us believing in who we are. And that's not to do with the root chakra, that's to do with the sacral. It's to do with like the creation of what we make of ourselves. And I think there's a sense of you not believing that what you've made of yourself is enough for you to be deserving to sit on that throne, which is why that strength card is reversed. So I think this is going to really help you reignite your appetite for a fulfilling life each and every day. Wow, it even says elderly individuals may offer wise counsel on priorities on life. So you may like, you know, listen to the elders of your life as well. Thinking outside the box will bring new experiences. Smile more. Do not let obligations dampen your spirit. The wise know how to enjoy themselves. If it's not fun, then why are you doing it? That definitely resonates with the messages I've been trying to say to you, Pile 3. So I hope that resonates for you. And the last card that I'm going to pull for you is this Kuan Yin Oracle card. I don't know all of the... like I don't know them intimately, but you know, I have the book on hand, so we'll have a look. I'll try and read it initially and then look at the book. The Threshold. Wow, beautiful card, eh? Okay, let me just put that there and you can look at that while I have a look for it. So at the threshold you stand. Before you lies a way of being that is beyond fear. It is a sacred passing of a karmic veil into a new life of empowerment, peace, spiritual service to humanity and joy in your own soul. Wow. You're embarking on a phase of deepest soul liberation into freedom of love that triumphs over fear. It has been quite a journey, many, many lifetimes, and much inner work has been required for you to perceive this light of the divine, even under the destiny of fear, the density of fear. You're fast approaching the karmic threshold where you can shift from a fear-based to a love-based embodiment. Wow. Wow, Pile 3. Wow, my Pile 3s, I'm telling you, it doesn't, I tell you, I haven't done a reading for ages, but look, Pile 3 just, all the piles, they're just all incredible, but the Pile 3s never cease to amaze me. And then I get so many of you saying, oh, like, you know, I'm Pile 3, and I'm just like, oh my God, you people are just incredible. Thank you so much for coming to watch the readings. Please do go and watch Helen's reading, just to kind of get some idea on how you can, like, get strong. Because you need it right now. I think there's a sense of, like, maybe you being quite strong for other people. But what about you? You know, what about you? And there's a real kind of strength in the accepting of that strength, you know. So I think that might be something very useful for you. The link will be in the description box below. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you liked it, please do give it a thumbs up. Please do subscribe for more videos. But otherwise, my darlings, thank you so much for being here, taking the time to watch. Take care, have a beautiful day, and I'll see you in future readings, and make sure that you remember that honesty is always key. Bye.